Hi guys, it's Royce here from SupremeBeerFitness.com. I just want to do a quick video about cheat meals, basically what they are, what they do, what we use them for. It's quite a common thing that I see on social media, people talking about they're having a cheat meal and they're breaking certain diet patterns and all the rest of it. But it's important that we understand exactly why we use cheat meals and what we're aiming to achieve. Otherwise we're just kind of ruining the diet that we've worked really hard for. So how often cheat meals? That's really going to depend on one, what your goals are, two, where your body fat is at the moment, and if what your goals are. Because if you're looking to get leaner, if you're having a cheat meal every 5 days, that's not going to be ideal. And exactly how tailored your diet is already. If you've got very specific diets, then like people leading up to shows and stuff, they're not going to be having cheat meals as often as guys who are just kind of maintaining their physique. Okay, so what should a cheat meal be? Now, there's obviously different ways of doing a cheat meal. Some people, in fact, use cheat days. So they will essentially have a whole day where they can eat whatever foods they like. People really indulge as well. And there's other approaches which talk about windows, so they'll have kind of a set period of time in which they can eat whatever foods they like. Now, what is the basic point of a cheat meal? And basically what we're looking to do is to raise your leptin levels. Now, leptin is a hormone, okay? It's produced by your fat cells, and what it basically does is it tells your body you're hungry, okay? So we want your leptin levels as high as possible. Okay, when leptin starts coming down, your body is going to feel hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. So what happens is, as you get leaner, obviously you've got less body fat, so you've got less fat cells producing leptin itself. So what basically happens is there's less leptin being produced, your body's constantly telling you you're hungry, and at the end of the day you're fighting a losing battle. We're all human, and you are going to succumb to hunger eventually. So what we aim to do with a cheat meal is to get your leptin levels spiked back up so that you're getting the messages that you're full up when you've eaten, and you're not going to be starving throughout the day constantly, okay? Because that's not what we want at the end of the day. Leptin is also responsible, it helps out in fat metabolism and a few other things that are important within the body. To get the levels right is going to be beneficial in terms of fitness as well. There's actually another approach to cheat meals I wanted to talk about as well, and it's called carb refeeding. It's something that I've only just started doing myself. My coach, Rob Whitfield, has actually just recommended that I've started doing refeeding because I'm on a prep diet and I'm competing in 6 weeks. Now, what happens when you're on a really low carb diet, eventually, your muscles are going to run out of glycogen, you're going to end up being tired, your workouts and your performance are going to become abysmal, to be frank. And you're just going to feel tired, lethargic, can't concentrate, and they're all bad things. When you're training twice a day and you're training to a high intensity, you need to be able to fuel them workouts, so you need the carbs coming in. It's got to be a balance somewhere as well. We're looking for a calorie deficit, so one of the things that we're going to take out of the diet to lean someone out is carbs. So what we do is we'll have 3 or 4 days of very, very low carbs, and then the 4th or the 5th day will be a refeed. That's where I am at the moment. Again, that changes from person to person. So every 5th day, the way I'm doing it at the moment is I'll literally just double my carb intake of certain foods. So mine at the moment is white rice and oats in the evening. And now what I'll basically do is double the amounts that I'll have on the low days. So very, very low for 3 or 4 days, and then big, big, high amounts of carbs. Again, that's just going to fill my muscles up, give me plenty of energy for the next few days, and hopefully keep my energy up where I need it throughout the workouts. Okay, so I've got that 3 or 4 days of high energy. Then just as you start feeling tired again, you get another refeed. That's the principle behind it. What that's also going to do is what I spoke about earlier. It's going to get your leptin levels up. Carbohydrate intake is going to be massively helpful for raising your leptin levels again. Now, there's also a different way of doing carb refeeds. I've looked a lot into it, and what a lot of people do is they actually kind of do a cross between a cheat meal and a carb refeed. Now, what this basically means is they'll bring their fat intake really low, sort of about 40 grams, even for really, really big guys, we'll look for about 40 grams of fat. They'll try and maintain their protein intake at a fairly high level because, obviously the goals around bodybuilding, they want a high protein intake. But what they'll also do is they'll get their carbs from sources they wouldn't normally eat. So it's kind of like a cheat meal as well. Talking about things like ice cream, certain ice creams that are lower in fat, bagels, refined carbohydrates that you wouldn't usually associate with a healthy diet. Honey Nut Loops is quite a common one. Anything that's going to be fairly low fat but fairly high carbs. And again, what they'll do is they'll double their macros for the day. So let's say when they're on a cutting phase, they're hitting 200 grams of carbohydrates. on their refeed days, they'll double that, so they'll have 400 grams, but they'll get them from different sources rather than just doubling their rice and potatoes. They'll look for different sources, so it's kind of a combination of a cheat and a carb refeed, which, to be honest, in the industry is, quite effective from what I've seen and from what I've read into it, and from who I've spoke to. So it's something that I'm going to be implementing into my training in the future. Obviously, I'm 6 weeks out at the moment, so I'm not going to risk blowing it out, but it's something that you should look to implement in your own diets as well. If your diet's tight throughout the week and you're working hard, there is a way you can reward yourself, but you need to do it in the right way. At the end of the day, as a phrase I was once told, is you're not a dog, so don't reward yourself with food. If you go out and binge eat all weekend, it's very easy to undo a tight diet from Monday to Friday. Okay, troops? Well, I hope the video was informative. If you've got any questions, pop them to me at info@supremebeingfitness.com and I'll do my best to get them answered. Okay? Thanks for watching. Take care.